Hello, babes. I am excited, a little nervous, to be able to share with you the calendar project that I have been working on. And Nara is going to join us and we'll make sure to answer some questions. But yeah, I kind of can't feel like I didn't think of this earlier. Like what's going on here? So, oh, good. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Ellie and Easy Girl. Hello. Hello, Ellie Psychedelics. Hello. Um, okay.
Oh,
Hi.
hello.
Oh, yeah,
Hi.
we gotta
How
adjust
am
the
I
camera. I forgot
lighting?
about that part. Oh, there he is. You know. Um, see, I teased Tony. He looked naked in his MJ BizCon photo.
He
And
did.
I
I
told him,
thought
I
that
said,
was
that's okay.
hilarious.
I look naked on like half my lives. Tube tops, people wearing them.
Tube top.
Hey, this one's
Tube top.
actually Kush Babes, by the way. Cute.
Hey, there you
You
go.
know. Gotta rep my
Oh,
babes. Love my babes. Hello, everybody. Hello, Recycle and Smoke. I'm so glad you're here.
hey.
Jimmy, you've got to come be a part of this. I'm so excited, you guys. This is, wow. Like, one, I was saying, I don't know how I didn't think of this earlier. But, me and dream boards. You guys know me and my dream boards. If you've been watching the show at all the last, 3.5 years, you've seen this thing before. So,
Almost every
yeah, really
episode.
excited. And, I got my weed on there. I do. And so this is just going to be another one of those, really, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah,
exciting.
I'm
I'm
very
so excited for
excited.
this.
So thank you, everybody tuning in. We
Yeah.
have got a project. I don't know where you want to begin, Inara. Where should we begin?
You know, honestly, what if we started with just the idea itself and what dream boards mean to you and how the
Okay.
idea for a calendar came up? Because I
Okay.
think that that also really is a great story.
Well, okay. So, I mean, from the beginning, my purpose here has been to help connect different babes with what it is they need in the space. And in this particular instance, the calendar came up when talking with my videographer Summer, and just as a way
Hmm.
to be like, hey, let's do something. I want to celebrate more babes. But the initial idea with the calendar is there's only 12 months. I have way more than 12 babes, way more than 12 brands, and way more than 12 nonprofits I would even want to highlight. And so I'm like, well, damn, how do I narrow it down? And I just can't. Like, I want to celebrate everybody. And
Yeah.
so I actually, it's kind of started Alice Moon. I got to give you a little credit for telling me
Go,
no,
Alice.
because I just don't take no for an answer. So thanks. And it made me get really creative. So she wasn't comfortable with like doing a whole photo shoot. So I was like, but I really think that her message around CHS and yet
Oh,
still being a
100%.
cannabis advocate is a part of responsible cannabis advocacy.
Agreed.
And so I, very much want to make sure that that's included.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. And so I have two cats and they're really funny. And every day they will either be all over me in my desk for hours as I'm trying to work, or if, like children, I'm willing to lay them down for about 10 minutes, they'll sleep on my bed for the same amount of time, right? So I ended up proceeding to, like, after talking to Ellis and being like, damn, she doesn't want to have her photo done. Like, I get it. Okay, Um, laying down on the bed with freaking cats because they were not leaving me alone. And I look up and at my dream board that's here that I moved to my bedroom, right? And I was like, oh, 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 that's how I do it. And so really the idea is, these words that are on here get to come from articles that some of our brilliant journalists have written, in some cases years ago. And this will now give them new life, right? Like new people
Hmm.
can go and look at this and then with a QR technology scan the month, and I'll back up and explain that. but it will lead directly to that link and people can really use it to self-educate. So I just was like, oh wait, if people could shop from it. And you know, everyone always says we love your Canna Boss baby earrings. I'm like, there
Everyone
you
always
go.
compliments the
You
earrings.
know, I've got,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm wearing my blended objects and my Nancy chains. I've got, you know, Hemper sends the cutest bongs every
I
month,
know, it's
right?
so
Like
cute.
we've
I
got
love that.
Artie's got like the cutest earrings and artwork, and you know, Super Dope gave me this super dope fucking eye mask
Oh, I
at
love the eye mask.
MJ.
Yeah.
And so to be able to have you know, a wall calendar that oddly enough, as I started researching it, wall calendars are in 82% of homes. And then started looking at, oh, and then we look at them an average of 850 times a month, right? And then we look at
Right.
dream boards to inspire us and to encourage us and to help us find, you know, like, oh my God, how cute is that lip gloss, right? Like, I want that. And so to be able to really have it be something that's truly interactive and that you can
Mm-hmm.
shop from is, that's everything to me. That's how I get to share this world with the
Okay.
world.
I get it. Okay. Now let's back up a little bit and then we can walk them
Yes.
through the
Okay.
actual logistics of everything. But I definitely
This
just
is why
wanted to
she's on the
share.
call, you guys, because
Well, I just
I'm too
wanted you to
excited.
share like the where the idea spawned from, because I
Yeah.
think that we had originally had talks about your calendar idea, and I remember you talking about doing a photo shoot and wanting to just do
Mm-hmm.
like this the calendar but in a photo shoot sense. So I think
Yeah.
when you then presented it as a dream board, it was like, oh, that actually that fits you so well. That aligns with you so well. Like you have dream
Yeah.
boards all over your house. I've
I've
been there
been
plenty of
making them
times.
since I was 5 or
Exactly.
younger. Yeah.
Exactly. And they're literally all over your place, and I can attest to
Yeah,
that.
they are.
And so I think like when I realized too that this was the vision, it was like, oh, wait a minute. I think this is actually really the best way that you can include all of the different brands
Everything.
and influencers, advocates, educators, and just like all of the different parts of the cannabis industry, and not even just
Yeah.
the front facing parts, but the parts of the cannabis industry that
Oh, give me
people don't
some
even get to see.
lab stuff. Give me some
Labs, like
machinery.
machinery,
Yeah.
like the you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I
Yeah.
think that that was
Yeah.
like the light bulb and aha moment that was just
Yeah.
really like, oh,
Yeah. Look.
just laying down with your kitties.
Anything,
Yeah.
anything, anything, clothing and
Mm-hmm.
jewelry. And, you know, I messaged Ras Boss yesterday because I'm like, I love
Okay.
your work. I want you a part
Yeah.
of this, you know, like
Yeah.
I've got, you know, and a ton of things here. We've got mouthpiece, right? Like putting one of these on there and then just letting people
I
click on
had to
it.
get
What
your
is
mouthpiece.
that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and where do I get one? And so, you know, Tri-Verge, of course, like, so this stuff is amazing. I actually was taking this, I did a 30-day challenge,
I
which
know, I
during
saw
the time
that.
I came up with this idea. And
Right.
Tri-Verge is a CBDV
Okay.
product that helps with ADD and I mean, a list of other things as
Oh.
well. But oh my God, the focus. And so having their support and being able to have this on there and have people click on like that image and what is that, you know, or even
Mm-hmm.
articles on ADD and how CBDV helps with that.
Helps it
And
with it.
it's really the education aspect that excites me the most.
Yes.
Is using this as a tool to share, you know, like whether it's a picture like this and they can learn about the brand, you
Yes.
know, or whatever it is, or you
Well,
know,
let's
a
start
beautiful
there.
influencer and click on
Yeah.
who is that beautiful person, you know, what is it
Yeah.
that they're doing and what are they contributing. The nonprofits, oh my God,
Oh
I've
my
had
gosh,
so
so
many
many.
nonprofits already apply. I'm so excited
I
to
know.
share. Like, there's this idea of who we are as stoners in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the reality of all the people that I've had
Oh,
the pleasure of interviewing the last 3.5 years. And the difference between the idea of who we are and who we actually are and what we do with our lives and what we actually do with our lives is so vast and
yeah.
different. And this is really kind of my way of doing what I do as a love letter and a thank you. So just like with the podcast and being able to share people's stories, this is another way that I get to do that visually in a medium that I've just loved since I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, to your point, and circling back a little bit about how this impacts consumers, right? Because
Yeah.
as both marketing and communications people, we've both seen what kind of like cannabis products, um, cannabis adjacent products are available in like bigger retail markets like
Yeah.
Spencer's, like Barnes and Noble. And a
Yeah.
lot of the time when you go into things like Spencer's, it's very novelty, it's very like lazy
Hmm.
stoner, it's very typical, just,
Yeah.
like the typical stoner marketing that I think we found a lot of consumers don't really see themselves represented in.
Yeah.
And so I think that you being able to present this in a way and encapsulate the entire cannabis industry and all
Yeah.
facets of it in a way that people like, in a non-threatening way, in a way that
Yeah.
educates people at a self-paced learning kind of way, and they get to just stare at something beautiful but also shop and also educate themselves at the same
Yeah.
time is
Yeah.
like going to be, I
Like,
feel like, so impactful.
I keep saying it's something you can give to stigmatized Aunt Sally, right? Like
Yes.
it's something that you can give her and just leave her alone with.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people are afraid to engage in conversations directly because they don't want to be beaten up by it. They don't know enough to have the conversation. They just feel like, okay, sure, they're not going to listen to their stoner niece or whatever, right?
Right.
But I feel like if you give them something like this, it allows them to just, yeah, look and open their own curiosity, right? Like they can look
Exactly.
at whatever they want, whatever they're ready for, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's whether it's looking at people or whether it's reading articles or learning about different nonprofit work that maybe is similar to their work and like, oh, stoners do this too, like, you know,
Exactly.
um
Yeah.
I
And
think
being able to
having the
themselves
ability and have
reflected.
I'm sorry.
Just being able to see themselves reflected, right? And like
Yeah.
the different hobbies or
Yeah.
the different types of jobs that they also do, and seeing that
Yeah.
people who consume cannabis are just the same,
Yeah.
and being able to relate to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
We have our insurance companies, we have our PEOs, we have our unions,
Right.
we have there's so many
So
different
much.
aspects. It's an entire industry and the world
Right.
still doesn't really know it or understand it. But also there's a lot of legislative work that we still have to do. There's still a lot
Okay.
of other work. And so I think that's the other thing that really excites me about this is not only does it allow us to educate a new audience as to what we already know, but we also get to really create it as a call to action for what we
Mm-hmm.
still need. And so that is a lot of legislative support, and that is educating people in order to gain that. So I see my friend Canna Paint on here. That is definitely one product I'm very excited to have, you guys. Canna Paint. This nail polish has changed my skin. Between this and then, oh my gosh, Mandy, where is the gold serum?
There it is.
Potency 710, you guys. Like these
Mm-hmm.
are some of the most amazing products out there. Um, I want to talk about the accessibility of this real quick.
Let's
I
do it.
know it is people always want to know what's it going to cost. They're like, Christmas is coming up. I don't have money. I just blew my money at MJ BizCon. Like there's
Right.
there's some concerns and our industry struggles anyway. And I know this as a whole. And I'm also not just talking to the California market. This is a product literally for everyone.
Nationwide.
If anyone from international wants to be a part of this as well, you're very, very welcome. And other states. So I know one of the concerns we got was actually regarding for states where the marketing is more restricted than even
Restricted.
California. We've got that planned out. So this is not a project that I was like, hey, I'm going to think of this, create a deck, and just go online and tell everybody. I've actually worked through with my attorney this is a thing happening, you guys. This is very, very real. So we are going to be wrapping this in plastic and putting a parental advisory sticker on the front. So it'll be a little fun.
Mm-hmm.
But also will help make sure that any of those marketing restrictions in other states are addressed through that packaging. So we're really excited for that too. We don't want anyone to have any reasons why they can't participate, including financial. I am letting everyone know if you guys are experiencing hardship, please let this be a discussion and not a deterrent.
Exactly.
So we do have pricing on there. It's designed to be very accessible for everybody, especially when you consider calendars gain over 10,000 views per year. So that is, you know, a lot just as a calendar, but then also having the direct access to being a digital directory, which leads to more followers, more engagement to your social platforms, as well as potential sales if that's something that you are set up for online. So really excited about all of that. But really also like my influencers. So this is a big thing. People look at me as having all these influencers all over the country, and you guys are amazing. Boss babes are everywhere. Men are babes too.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them are really struggling. So, you know, as a result of the brand struggling, there's not a lot of money flowing. And so there's often free product in exchange for posts and things, but that doesn't pay our influencers. And so
Yeah.
our advocates and influencers who create so much content for free on a very regular basis, they're concerned about how they will be able to afford this. But I
Right.
made sure it's accessible because it's really only $200 for the entire year. It's a $50 deposit in December, and then you pay the rest at the end of January. So I have two payments. There's an initial deposit, and then when your photo or submission has been accepted in January, the final payments due at the end of the month. So I don't have anything due at Christmas. I'm not trying to hurt anybody at
No,
Christmas
yeah,
time.
seriously.
But the other thing is I'm also offering a 10% commission. So that means any influencer who has a strong connection with two brands, not only does that pay for your ad placement, but it also puts an extra $100 in your pocket. So I really did try to think through, and you know, because you know how many hours we spent on this.
100%. Yeah.
But I really tried to think through making this very accessible for everybody and also still fair for what the promotional value is. But
Yeah.
I want everyone to see an ROI on this. And, you know, the benefit of having your photo on something like this is, as an influencer advocate, is other brands and other people across the country being like, wow, I really love their look. I want them to do something with me. Or who is that? And how do I follow them? And how do I engage more with them? And how do I book them? Right? Like I want them for my brand. And emerging markets, you know, there's a lot of ancillary products that are
Mm-hmm.
looking for influencers who are already established in this industry. And so this is just going to be a really great marketing and promotional opportunity for you as well. So
I think, can we talk a little bit more about that too? With how
yeah,
many, I think there's about, you said over 700 like available spots combined. Um,
but it's
combined.
limited in
Right.
type. So we
Yes.
really only have 120 spots for cannabis and CBD brands. And that's not
Mm-hmm.
very many when you think of how many there are across the
How many
country.
are
Like
out there?
I think
Right.
there's 700 in California alone, or a little
Alone.
over 700, and that's at the license. Like we're not, you know.
Right.
Oh, I like plant medicine, by the way. So you know, anybody that's got some shroomies, like, hit me up. Let's talk. I've got, you know, there's a few. Yeah, like I want to educate people, so let's talk
Yeah,
about this.
absolutely.
Tyler, hello, hello.
Love. But yeah, just to your point of just that, like, so many people, there are this many spots, but how you were saying that, like, if someone, a different brand, saw this specific influencer featured and then they want to, they like their look. And I think that that's another thing too, is the cross promotion between
Yeah.
all of the different brands,
Oh,
nonprofits, and everyone's going to be promoting
huge.
each other because
Yeah.
everyone's a part of this. So I think that
Yeah.
that's also the very beautiful thing about this, is that you get to not only be included in something that showcases the cannabis industry for actually what it is and the reality of
Yeah.
what we are, but then also like have all of these other people promoting you, and you're promoting all of these other people and making
All
these
of these other
connections also.
people, including all of these amazing journalists. So Peter Sue was one of the first journalists to submit a piece that he wrote for Rolling Stone. So already the calendar has a piece
From Rolling Stone.
that's been featured in Rolling Stones in it. So when you think of, and
Mm-hmm.
Rochelle Gordon from Green State has said, look at whatever you want to use. Lindsay has
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Like so many people, Christina Wong has offered recipes. Can you guys imagine? Like I've got donuts on my board right here. Can you imagine seeing some of her yumminess on there and then clicking on that image and there's the
And getting the
recipe for it?
recipe
Like
right there. Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited. Like I'm so honored. And that was just from her overhearing me explain it to someone else. And so the excitement
Yeah.
from the community already and from people who are press who understand how hard it is. Like, right, these journalists, like we all read their articles. They're, I geek out on them. I was seeing them
Right.
at, like, someone came up and wanted a photo with me, and Lindsay was like, I'll take the photo. I was like, were you kidding? You should be in it with me.
In
Like, are you
it.
like
Yeah.
what? I geek out on these writers. These writers, they're the storytellers for me. So for me, those are my celebrities, and to be able to really show
Feature their
off their
work.
work and then partner with
Yeah.
them, and then also know that they are just equally supportive of this project. Like that is the biggest thing, is the
Mm-hmm.
cross collaborative ability of this. If everybody's promoting it like, hey, I'm in the calendar, hey, get this calendar, I'm in the calendar, I'm in the calendar, I'm in the calendar, and we're all over the country, like that's
Right.
a lot of sales, guys.
And I
So
think too, like this offers a alternative opportunity to market in such a highly censored
yeah.
market. You know what I mean? Like it's such a highly censored
Mm-hmm.
industry. And I think that this is what a lot of people have been so excited about also, is that this is a way for them to reach these different audiences and get around that censorship because
Yeah.
it's a wall calendar.
It's a wall calendar. It's a very user friendly wall
Right.
calendar, right? And it's
Right.
it's gonna have some flower pictures on there because our flower's so pretty.
So beautiful.
So pretty. But it's gonna have a lot of other things on there too. And yeah. So let's talk about that real quick, because
Yeah.
submissions I think are important. I think it's very easy for people to want to submit like their brand logo, and the benefit to that, of course, is when you look at something 850 times a month, you're going to recognize it. You're going to
Remember
build
it.
that brand recognition. So that's definitely one of the ways that you can do that. But I
Mm-hmm.
also really want to encourage brands to do things like submit photos of their flower, because that is very evocative. And so if you can have a picture that like Cream of the Crop does some gorgeous
Mm-hmm.
packaging, right? Like we have some brands that do some really beautiful marketing. We've got Kimmy Blair in the house from High Rise. Those guys know what the fuck they're doing. Love you,
Mm-hmm.
Kimmy. Those guys create some of the most gorgeous marketing out there, right? And so being
Right.
able to use images like that on something like this that are going to be compelling and evocative and make someone be like, ooh, I want to click on that. What is that? How do I learn more?
Yeah.
That is equally as important as having your
Your
logo, right?
logo.
Because not everyone's necessarily going to click on a logo. Maybe they'll build brand recognition, but it could be the photo that really draws them in. So everything is welcome, and if someone doesn't know what to put, I'm always happy to work with them. That's the thing. I'm
Yeah.
very accessible. No one should have any questions and have them go unanswered. I'm always happy to answer questions. I'm always happy to share. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. I just
I
want to show
know.
everybody off. Like, having had social anxiety for 4 years and then being introduced to this community and having it be so safe, that I have more than like blossomed here, right? And it's in my passion for having met so many incredibly talented, passionate people
Right.
for this plant who are doing amazing things all over the world. And so, that's where the podcast connections came from. And now I get to show them in a new format. And I'm excited, because I wanted to this year not just tell the stories, I wanted to show the stories. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've been transitioning a little with the podcast and trying to struggle with like, hey, I want a videographer. I want to show these pictures. I want to show the things. I want to show the people. And, that takes money that unfortunately our industry is just struggling to come up with. And I totally understand it. And so I'm like, well, what's another way that I can show and share all this? And so this is how I get to do it. This is how I get to do it visually. so people get to see a little bit
Yes.
more of the stories that we're talking about. And of course, everyone that's a part of the calendar gets to come on the podcast. Like, I want to share your story too. So yeah, this is how
Okay.
I get to share.
Let's back up a little bit and let's talk a little bit more about logistics and how the calendar functions as a
Let's do
digital
it.
directory.
Yeah.
So not only is it going to be a printed calendar, but each month has a QR code that leads
Yes.
them to where?
It's going to link them to the Canna Boss Babes website, to a members only section of the website, and their very own directory page. On that directory page, it will have their basic information like different social media profiles, which will be hyperlinked so they can click on it and go straight to you to find you, as well as your website, a little description about your company, and a description about whatever the item is that you've submitted. So, if you decide to submit a necklace or something, then we'll be able to have the description of what it is. For us, I have on the website, I have these Canna Boss Babe earrings as an example. So it has the description of those and then the link back to where to find them. So at the very most basic level, that is what they'll have. Eventually, I would love to include links to our podcast together and of course anything else as well. But for now, that's what we'll begin with.
But I think being able to just automatically redirect someone from the calendar directly to a purchasing page or a
Oh
page where
yeah.
that they learn about the product or the
Yeah.
company or the article is so streamlined and going to be so impactful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, so then let's talk a little bit more about timeline because I know submissions are due this month.
They're due
Um,
this month because I really want there to be no reason for us to be in Barnes & Noble in time for April sales.
right.
So the timeline, yes, it's quick. I wish I had thought of this like a month earlier, even like 2 weeks earlier. That would have been great. It also would have meant a little more sleep before Vegas.
But we're here. It's okay.
But hey, we did it. We did it.
We did it.
And so the timeline is this. My goal is to have this design submitted to Barnes and Noble and Spencer's and other national retailers by January 15th. And in order for that to happen, I need all the submissions this month in December. I know it's tight, you guys. I know we're busy, worried about the holidays and a lot of other things, but trust, gonna be worth it. January 15th allows for us to have an 8-week uh, response from Barnes and Noble. So they typically take 4 to 8 weeks. This gives us the 8 weeks plus a couple extra before April begins for us to get them in the shops. Now, of course, we all know our big sale is 4/20. We could take a few extra weeks, but my goal is to have it in stores by April 1st. It also, by having it done by January 15th, it also allows me to have a smaller set of calendars ready for Champs. And
Yes.
Champs, I'm excited because our plan is to have a booth, be able to do live podcasting from that, be able to feature some of the different brands that will be in the podcast or in the calendar at our booth as well. And of course, be able to present our calendar to all the smoke shops that shop, for the year and 4/20 at Champs. So yeah, I'm really excited.
That is really exciting. Okay, so let's go through the timeline one more time. So they have until December 31st to get the submissions in.
Yes.
Yes. So, and then choosing a photo, I think it was important for you to
I will notify everyone by January 15th whose photos I'm using.
Okay.
And then payments so the final payment. So let's talk about payment real quick because I really do want to make this as accessible as possible for everybody, especially since it is December. It's the end of the year. Some of our financial budgets are, like running thin. So deposits for this and the application fee is $50 if you're an influencer. It's $100 for most other businesses. Although if you're a cannabis brand or CBD brand, then it is $250. That is because the total cost for cannabis brands and THC brands is $1,500, and then influencers are $200, and other brands are $500. So, but not everything's due at once. I just didn't want everyone to have to worry about the burden and coming up with it so quick. So what we've done is we've created it where there's a small application fee, and then when your photo is selected or your image is selected, and oh, I think I'm losing a little height here. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just I'll just take it off and hold it. How about that? Then when your image is selected, January 15th, I will notify you, and then you'll have 2 weeks by January 31st to make the final payment, and that is in order for me to be able to make sure everything's finalized and out to Barnes and Noble.
And I think another thing you wanted to make sure too is just that like you were super accessible and always willing to have a
Oh,
conversation about finances, about what kind of
yeah.
photo they should submit.
Yeah. I had a conversation earlier. There's an influencer in the space. She's absolutely fucking amazing. I love her work. I admire her work. And she started her own business on the side, right? So she was thinking of using the calendar to promote her business. And instead, we were able to have a conversation and talk about, well, what if we bring her on as an influencer? Oh, wait, we can, if she has a couple brands that she knows that she'd be willing to talk to, like, that'll cover that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to work with everybody on this. I also have offered some other people that are like having financial hardship. I was like, pay me what you think is fair, you know? Like this is it's more important to me that this be something we have in Barnes and Noble and are sharing our story and really getting the word out there and the truth out there as to who we are, like the truth as to who
Exactly.
we are as a people and as a community and as an industry.
Yeah.
And so I don't want something like money to be a deterrent. What I've been telling people is it should be a discussion.
Yeah. And that is a discussion.
Yeah.
So whether you're a cannabis brand, clothing, jewelry,
Yeah.
accessories,
Social equity
smoking
brands, like,
accessories, beauty, skincare,
yeah.
industrial people, please, we need to,
Yeah.
showcase all the different facets and sides of the cannabis
Yeah.
industry. So
Yeah. I want to tell your story. I want to show what you do.
yeah. I'm trying to think, do you think if there's anything else that you'd like to
Mm.
highlight right now or any other pertinent information that they need to know of?
I think that's it for now.
Okay.
People have more questions. They should probably go back and watch this from the beginning, check out the page,
Hmm.
or just DM. I'm, like I said, very accessible, very happy to answer
Yeah.
questions, very happy to talk. Um, you know, for anybody interested in helping place brands for this project, definitely I'm paying 10% commission. So, you know,
There you
I've got a
go.
ready. What the process is, if you go into the event, it is posted as an event on our website. That is to allow for us to have the open application time period as though it's a ticket, so
Hmm.
it'll look like a ticket, but it's just an application. And so you'll go in and pay, and then it will email you the form that you'll fill out for the directory and put your image in. And that's really just, that's it. Like, it's very simple. It's very
Yeah.
so, yeah.
And I feel like really wanting to emphasize too the ROI on this because 58% of calendar users recall the brand or company that's advertised in them.
Well, and
So
52% keep it longer than a year.
than a
These
year.
stats are crazy, right? Like these stats.
And
You
especially
guys, if
with
you
this
want to
being a
learn
dream
more about
board.
it, the website is the place to go. The link is in the bio. Hopefully I can say that on live without getting shadow banned later. Instagram, you're so fucking weird.
Right.
Um, but hey, that's also why we need the calendar, right? Let's maybe talk about
Yeah.
that real quick. The reason why
Yeah.
something like this is so important is because we get shadow banned and limited everywhere, and the world is determined to keep us stuck in the stereotype, and I'm determined to break free from it. So, yeah,
Yeah, we're breaking stigmas. We're building community and we're breaking stigmas.
that's it.
Because not only is this a great marketing opportunity, it is a great opportunity to connect with audiences and have them be educated on the truth and the reality of all of the different personalities, people, like
Yeah,
parts of the industry that no one really even thinks
we're
about.
so
Um,
multifaceted.
we are,
Yeah.
and like we're not lazy stoners. I think that was another statistic that we had
No.
seen was just that like 72% of like Americans think that there's too much of the typical lazy stoner in
Yeah.
mainstream media as far as TV and marketing goes.
Yeah.
So being able to really showcase all of these different people in a creative, beautiful way, it's so like it just I'm excited. Like, it just makes sense.
Me too. I'm really
Yeah.
excited. Yeah, 82% of homes hang a wall calendar. Why not
Hmm.
ours? Why not
Exactly.
one that will inspire, be beautiful, and non-threatening, you know? Like,
Exactly.
and then also doubles up as educating. You can shop from it as though it's Pinterest, you know? Um,
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So please,
love it.
everyone, get your submissions in. Like Ishka said, finances should be a discussion, not a deterrent.
Yeah,
Okay. She's very much made this so accessible and is so willing to work with everyone to just make sure that we can share everyone's story and really
yeah,
showcase who we are as a community and as an industry.
yeah,
So
yeah,
let's wrap up again with just kind of like walking through that part of the timeline and what those price points are one more time, just so
yeah.
that we, like everyone
So
can,
for
yeah.
cannabis brands, it is $1,500. However, only $250 is required to apply.
Mm-hmm.
The remaining balance will be due at the end of January. So I will
Mm-hmm.
notify everybody January 15th. Hey, your picture, I'm using it. Here's where it's going to be. And
Right.
the balance will be due, and you'll be invoiced at that time with the
Right.
balance. But to begin with, it's $250 for cannabis and CBD brands. It is $100 for any other businesses, and it's $50 for influencers and advocates. So I really, really am hoping that that makes it very accessible for everybody. I can't wait to have, I can't wait to have everyone involved.
Yay. I'm so
So
excited for this. I cannot
yeah,
wait to just, I can already see like where in my house, like I would put the calendar, you know what
oh
I
yeah,
mean? Like, and just like being able to see people like flip through the pages and just be able to learn. So I'm so excited for
yeah.
this.
I mean, it's going to make a great gift, and this is not the end. Like you already know, there's other product ideas, there's other ideas,
Yeah,
there's other ways to be able
this
to
is just the
continue building
start.
the
Yeah.
network. There's going to be able to
Mm-hmm.
be digital access. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's more ways that this will continue to grow, and I'm just really excited because it continues to feed the podcast, which continues to feed the stories, and the more we can share our stories, like the more
Yeah,
we can grow our industry.
I love it. Okay. Well, I think that that was about all of that we wanted to cover
Yeah, I don't
today.
know if people have questions, but feel free to
Yeah.
ask in the comments and whatnot. We got a lot of love, not a lot of questions. Do we answer them all? I think maybe we did.
Well, I'm hoping so because I feel like we've put a lot of thought and thought through a lot of
Yeah,
concerns already. And again, as far as the getting around like marketing censorship concerns, it's
yeah,
going to be in a slip with a slip cover with a parental advisory sticker
yeah.
on it. So we don't even really have to, worry about censorship in that kind of way.
No,
And the goal
yeah.
is to have it in very big retail stores like Barnes and Noble, Spencer's, your local smoke shops,
Oh gosh, I
probably
wonder
like
if Target would
dispensaries.
take it. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
Ross. I like this. This was a Ross find.
yeah,
This was a Ross
right.
find. So I feel like
Yeah,
again, just those kinds of stores and being
yeah,
able to find it and these kinds of products at
yeah,
shops that we go to all the time,
yeah.
but don't really necessarily again see all
Well,
of ourselves reflected.
and how many people will end up buying it thinking it's just a dream board and getting it home and then finding it's cannabis?
I know, right? That's
I
going to be the
wonder
most
about that too. Like,
right.
I kind of have goals to really, like, again, like this has cannabis in it, but it's not all cannabis. And so
Right.
my goal is to make it something that has that crossover appeal. And so
Mhm.
I would want people to maybe purchase it a little accidentally and then teach themselves something with it?
Yeah, but again, all with the goal of educating and
Yeah.
really being able to showcase the community in a way
Yeah.
that is non-threatening and in a way that resonates with all of these
Yeah.
different people, with your typical
Yep.
cannabis consumer. So I'm excited. Please DM Ishka or send an email if you have any actual other questions. Always happy to answer them. And again, we know
Yeah.
it's the holidays, but it's a discussion, not a deterrent.
It's a discussion, and this is revolutionary. I'm really excited. Like, we're changing the game with something like this. So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
especially with the QR code technology.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be able to
I
utilize
want
that.
everyone to get sales, man. I don't
Yeah,
want to take your money and put it on the wall. I want it to lead back to you. You know, I
exactly.
want our influencers to get more jobs. I want
Hmm.
our businesses to get more support. I just, we need to still know that we're all out there, and social media has not been our friend. And
No.
that's how other businesses get to use it. So we don't get to use it the same way. So we've got to get creative. So this is
Yeah.
how I got creative.
And like I think we already talked about this, like that 82% of homes have wall calendars. But
82. Yeah.
I can already tell you too that like I have used so many different like promotional wall calendars or
Yeah.
have picked up beautiful calendars that I just kind of see at the store. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see who picks this up at the stores, like, and
Same.
have
Oh,
this
that's
get
the
these
other
big.
thing. I have so many people that are like, I want one, I want one, I want one. And I'm like, great.
Let's do
So,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get in
Okay.
it. Let's fill
All
it up.
right. Yeah, let's go. Submission. You can submit your photo at the website that is
Yeah.
on the
Link
on the
in bio.
profile. Link in bio. Like I don't know if
It's in
that's
there. It's in
I'm
there.
like
It's in the link. So the link's in the bio.
it's there.
So, but the
Yeah.
cannabossbabes.com, you guys know the website. Make sure you put the at the beginning. The
Right.
cannabossbabes.com/the calendar. And you can go there to learn more and check out the website because I rebuilt that. And it's funny, I was using the picture with the dream board and then the
Yeah.
idea came. So, really, the alignment's wild. Plus, like, if you read on LinkedIn, I had a wild experience at MJ, but we'll save
Yeah,
that
sure.
for another live.
We'll talk about that more about that. But for now, any other questions you may have about the calendar, how to submit or what to submit, please just reach out and we'll have a conversation. If you don't know exactly what kind of photo to submit just yet, don't let that be a deterrent. We'll figure it out.
That's right. Okay,
Yep.
babes. Much love
Okay.
you. Thank you so much, Inara. This is my ping pong partner, you guys. I called this
Gotcha.
woman the Saturday before MJ. I was like, I have this event. I need someone to play ping pong with me. Help me. And we were on like an 8-hour Zoom. So until 2
Yeah,
a.m. And then she was like, I got to get sleep. I was like, okay. And then I worked another
I
three and a
know.
half hours. So, um,
For real. But I see the vision and you already know how hard I go for my people, especially
yeah.
when I believe in what they're doing. And this is going to be big and this is going to change a lot of
Yeah.
lives and really help people educate
Yeah.
themselves in a way that like isn't in their face, but kind of in their face, because it's a calendar, but
Yeah.
like but isn't being pushed on them and they get to do
Yeah.
it themselves. So
It's
that's
user
really beautiful.
friendly, and then you get them to read the same things that you've read, and then you get to have real discussions, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's when the real
Yeah.
fun starts because then you get to,
Yeah.
the community then expands. And that's
That's
the
right.
beautiful part.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited. We're excited. And we hope you're excited. And yeah, reach out if you have any other questions.
Thanks, babes. I'm so excited.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I know.
That's
Chills.
it. Because we can't say
Okay.
the word excited anymore, so we got to hang up. But
No, I
yeah,
know.
any
Okay.
questions, please DM Inara or myself. We're very happy to be able to answer questions and come be a part of the dream board. Come be a part of this
Yeah.
change.
Okay.
Okay. Bye,
All right.
babes.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.